Okay, Letitia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the opportunity to speak. There's been a lot of testimony tonight that's focused on lives taken or lives lost by gun violence. And I would point out that a gun is an inanimate object. It is neither violent nor nonviolent. It is a tool. It is people and how they use it, which makes its use either good or bad. We have to focus on both sides of the equation, not just lives that are lost because somebody used a gun. We also have to focus on the number of lives that are saved. And I think those far outweigh the number of lives lost if you look at the statistics on that. Guns are a deterrent. Mr. Belair said he couldn't imagine why anybody could possibly need more than a 10-round magazine. Well, that's certainly a failure of imagination on his part. I do not need to imagine because I had the unpleasant experience. But somebody else, luckily, had a gun and was able to protect the people that we were with. He didn't have to fire a shot. The bad people went away. But there were multiple people. So it acts as a deterrent. Nobody's hurt. It's not in the statistics anywhere, but it did happen, and it was quite an eye-opening experience for me. So I think limiting the number of rounds in a magazine is sheer foolishness, and anybody that says that why could you possibly need more is just hasn't had the right experience yet. And if their eyes are opened, they won't want to be limited that way. As a result of that experience, I came up to testify before the House and the Judiciary Committee a number of years ago for the very first time, because I decided that I no longer wanted to depend on somebody else to protect me. But it turned out that my town didn't have a process for concealed carry. It was the only town in the state. We went through that process. It took a long time, and it took me over a year to get my concealed carry permit, because I was one of the very early ones. That system has now worked out, but it took quite a while, and every year I come up here to testify again, and there's some of the same bills blaming guns for violence, when I know that actually it makes us safer to have law-abiding citizens have guns. And now we're at the point where I'm going to have to renew my permit, and guess what? There is no method in my town for renewing my concealed carry permit. So our town councilmen have told me that there has to be something passed at the state house, at the state level, before our town can pass something. So I, support the legislation here to make a concealed carry permit renewal, first of all, to develop a process for it, and then to make it automatic if you have done nothing, and I should qualify that, not automatic, to make it easy to renew without having to go through the entire process again, which is merely harassment and a waste of everybody's time and effort if nothing has happened to change the circumstances of the case. So I think you have on my list there all the things that I oppose and support, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.